Hello, everybody. Welcome into Fantasy Pros. I'm Ryan Wormeli, joined, as I will be all season long, by Tera Roberts. Tera, we are talking some moves to make ahead of Week 3, which is kind of hard to believe that we're already thinking in terms of it being Week 3. Obviously, we are recording this on Monday, so there's still a couple of games left here, the Monday night doubleheader, before we're totally done with Week 2. But fall moves so quickly. Football moves so quickly every season. Just the regiment of every week. It really does seem to fly. So we are on to Week 3 here, looking at some moves that we want to make before we kick things off several days from now. All of our 2025 consensus rankings and tiers can be found at fantasypros.com/rankings. So you just want to mention that for everybody. You can also even navigate to our rest of season rankings, which are already starting to get updated post Week 2. So if you are thinking about some of the players that get brought up today on this episode, you can go check and see, hey, where are they ranked in the rest of season rankings to get a sense of what the experts are saying. We're going to go through 5 here. These are in no particular order. So get us started here, Tera, with your first one.
I'll start off. We'll start off positive here with a buy positive-ish because it is the result of an injury, but we could have done that regardless here. We're going to buy Jordan Mason here, especially after the Vikings. Even in week 1, we said that the best path forward for the Vikings, when you're looking at that backfield, Aaron Jones is very talented. I love him. You guys can't see it. I'm wearing my Green Bay shirt. I've still got affinity for him. But the deal is that unfortunately, he's just not as productive on the ground as we're seeing with Jordan Mason. When he comes into the game, it just looks different. It feels different. He's got a different boom to him in terms of his ground game there. And Aaron Jones was doing well from a receiving perspective. Mason looking decisively better on the ground. But now we've got this injury concern with Aaron Jones, and it's a good opportunity before we get a very high upside fantasy performance where we see Jordan Mason as a 3-down back to go ahead and get in there and buy Jordan Mason. Because a lot of times when we look at him and his usage at the 49ers, you see him as the guy that, hey, he's early down. He's not going to be someone who's catching a significant amount of passes, but we have seen him utilized a little bit here early from a receiving perspective with the Vikings. I think he's 3-down back capable here. I'm pretty excited about Jordan Mason.
I'm also excited about the opportunity. And by the way, I think I said this last week, but I want to say it again in case this is the first episode people are seeing, that this doesn't have to be a buy low and sell high. It can be a buy high and a sell low too. Sometimes I think those are even more valuable pieces of advice. So if you hear like Jordan Mason and go, oh, well, people know to buy, I think it's still worthwhile advice to say, go buy, even if people know that there's going to be value here if you really believe in the player. I believe in the player. I believe in the opportunity. Are you worried at all, just like the Vikings offense, what it has looked like 7 out of 8 quarters with J.J. McCarthy, and that the scoring opportunities might not be there?
Yeah, it's been rough. I mean, we did see some promise there at the end of the week 1 game, but I will also say that it hasn't been the most wonderful introduction in terms of defensive matchups here. I think he's still getting comfortable. The schedule ahead there, particularly these next 2 matchups, we've got Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Those defenses look a complete mess right now. So I think the opportunity is there, especially as JJ continues to develop.
Give me your second move to make before week 3.
Oh, let's stay on the trade track here. We're going to sell, but this is another one that has that caveat of what you were saying. We're not selling high. We're selling before this becomes a bit of a disaster here. James Conner. I think this is a good opportunity coming off of this game, where on the surface you might be thinking that Benson didn't get the same amount of carries, so it's still James Conner's offense. But when you dive into the stats, there are concerns there. Connor played 30 of 55 snaps. Benson played 25. In terms of routes run, Benson was higher on that end. He had more targets, less carries there. But again, this is starting to feel like a situation where we are getting confirmation of exactly what we were told in the offseason. The Cardinals were very clear. They wanted to increase the role of Trey Benson. Now, I will say I don't think that he is going to just outright unseed James Conner and the role is going to disappear. But the guy that you invested the big draft pick in, that is James Conner. So if you want to try and get some value out of him before he gets stuck into this area where he's in that 10 fantasy points per game range, and sometimes you're getting single digit fantasy points for a guy that you've been able to rely on as a RB2 for years now, maybe now is the time to get out before something weird happens here and he's a guy that you just can't move off of and can't do anything with.
Are you interested in, like, on the flip side, buying Trey Benson, or is this more like I want to sell James Conner because I kind of want to not ride the roller coaster of this backfield in general?
I'm interested in buying Benson. I think the thing here with Benson and why you would be buying him is that I feel like James Conner's age kind of snuck up on us. Like sometimes we forget he's 30. This is the year 30 for him, and not everybody can be Derrick Henry. So if we were going to see regression at some point, now makes sense. When you look at him, he's never been a massive injury kind of guy. But every single year, there's, 2, 3 games here and there where he has an injury, sits out. And now, with the confidence that they clearly have in Benson, what if those 2, 3 games come? Benson takes over as the lead back, and all of a sudden, he's just the offense is gunning and he's thriving. And he just straight up does not relinquish that role. That's the reality, too, here. He's a high upside handcuff, and I think it's perfectly fine to go out and acquire him as well.
If you want a chance to win one of the most unique pieces of NFL fan gear out there, the large NFLPA wall smack, courtesy of our good friends at Trophy Smack, the #1 destination for epic fantasy football hardware, then this is your shot. Their oversized, officially licensed NFLPA wall smack are bold statement pieces that are perfect for your fan cave, office, or living room wall. It's not just decor. It's a way to rep your favorite players in style. To enter, all you need to do is subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel right now. Drop a comment below on any of our videos. That is it. We will be announcing a winner right here on the channel, so make sure to turn on those notifications so you don't miss your chance to claim this epic prize. All right, you got a drop for us here next, Tera. Who are you dropping ahead of week 3?
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wanted to do this one last week, but I was worried that I was gonna hurt feelings. But now that we've got this week's performance, let's just go ahead and do it. You got to cut the cord with Colston Loveland, and I feel bad because it's bad. It sucks to cut the cord on guys that were literally just first round picks, and we were so excited about it. But I was very worried about him heading into the season, and this is showing exactly why I was worried. When we were looking at tight end strategy to begin the year, we know we had our big three, right? Although we've got injuries to the big three, and that's an issue. But if you missed out on those, you wanted to wait. Target guys like Tucker Kraft, Tyler Warren, and one name that I never said was Colston Loveland, and there was a very particular reason for that. When you look at the Chicago offense and what Ben Johnson was trying to implement from Detroit, you start to realize that when there were two very solid pass catchers, there's just not a lot of room for targets for that tight end. That's why we saw that dip in Sam Laporta's production compared to his rookie season because of the emergence from Jamison Williams. Now, cut to this year in Chicago, we've got this issue of Rome Odunze is an absolute beast there. Then you've got DJ Moore there as well. Cole Kmet hasn't disappeared. He is out snapping him. Unfortunately, this is just not a situation, even with significant volume from Caleb Williams, where you're going to be able to rely on Colston Loveland on a week-to-week basis here.
In these early rest of season rankings being updated, coming off of yesterday's games, Loveland is down to tight end 22 rest of season. That's fallen 6 spots just in the last week, let alone what happened in week 1. So he's somebody that by the end of draft season, I was not drafting a lot of. Early on, like those late July, early August drafts, I was kind of buying into like, hey, he was drafted higher than Tyler Warren. He theoretically has a better quarterback situation than Tyler Warren, better play caller than Tyler Warren. So, this is the upside rookie tight end I want to be targeting. That was not the case by the end of draft season, but it's even more apparent now that we've seen some games play out how wrong that was for me to think that early. And I think he's a talented player here still, but the situation will need to change for him to be relevant. And at this point, like, unless you're in some kind of crazy tight end premium format where you start 3 tight ends or something insane that I've never seen, there's not a whole lot of reason to keep him around. I mean, maybe if you have super deep benches and say, hey, maybe second half situation changes, but beyond that, I'm with you on this as a drop here. Let's stick with the Bears and another player here that you want to make a move on.
Yeah, I hate to rain on the Bears parade here. I do love a good sell high.
I think the football gods are raining on their parade.
Yeah, you're right. Let's not beat up on them here. I love a good sell high, but sometimes, it might be time to sell and not have to deal with it here heading into the season, right? We were all looking for, who's the next Kyron Williams? Who's the next JSN? Rome Odunze was the guy that came up so commonly as the next JSN. He didn't even need the time that JSN needed. It's Rome Odunze's time right now. He is absolutely dominating when you look at target share in that offense. And again, this is a major reason why Colston Loveland has such an issue. Rome Odunze is dominating. He had an over 25% target share in week 1, over 30% in week 2. DJ Moore's target share has not exceeded 20%. That's a major issue here. Now, the good thing is that you don't have to panic sell him, right? This is like a shop around and see what you can get, see if you can find someone that believes in him, because for the entirety of his career, he's been an incredibly reliable wide receiver too, top 24 type of receiver right around there. But unfortunately, that has been when he has been the wide receiver 1 on this team. And I just don't think that we can count on him as being the consistent wide receiver 1 in this offense now. At the end of the day, Rome Odunze is an incredible guy, and DJ Moore is still going to have a pretty solid floor. He's going to get targets here. It is very, very focused in on Rome Odunze and DJ Moore. So this is not a bust situation where you absolutely can't put him in your fantasy lineups, but now he's a flex play who you'll be thinking about, am I starting him or somebody else that has a little more upside, matchup dependent there? And if you want to see if you can capitalize on him, go shop him around.
We've got a special offer for everyone. Unlock a month of Betting Pros Premium for free. Download the Betting Pros app today. Use promo code FP1month, and that's one, the number one, not spelled out. Get access to tools like the Same Game Parlay tool, the Prop Bet Analyzer, and the Prize Picks Prop Bet Cheat Sheet. Don't miss out. Try it for free for 1 month now. Available on iOS and Android. Again, that code is FP, the number one, month. All right, Tera, we've gone 3 for 4 on the NFC North so far. So maybe let's get an AFC player in here for your final move to make before week 3.
When I made this list, low key, it was going to be, it might have been like an even split with the AFC and the NFC North. Yeah, it would have been. But I focused it in on a buy here with Breece Hall. We'll end on a positive on a buy low candidate here, a nice traditional one here. In week 1, very encouraging from Breece Hall. 19 carries, over 100 yards, caught a couple of targets there, looked great in terms of burst. He looked good. That was a problem, or was the good thing. The problem is that we did have that red zone usage tilted towards Braylon Allen, and that was a bit of a problem there, right? But overall, it's not as massive of an issue as you might think, because again, we're knowing that this Jets offense wants to implement a Detroit-style offense that utilizes 2 running backs, a Thunder and a Lightning, and Hall being the Lightning there. So it wasn't surprising usage. It was actually encouraging that he had that level of carries and he was productive with it. Now cut to week 2. Not a very productive day, right? 10 carries, 29 yards, couple of receptions there. But the positive here is that Braylon Allen was kind of non-existent there, just a couple of carries. This is Breece Hall's backfield. He dominated the snap share. It is very clear that Hall has value in competitive games and games where Jets are playing from behind, because he's the the RB1 in that offense, and no one is taking his job. Braylon Allen looked, quite frankly, that he might be competing with Isaiah Davis for who is more of that Thunder role there. So when you're looking at somebody who you can buy cheap, maybe the cheapest RB2 in rankings with true RB1 upside available right now, maybe getting a little bit of discount right there with Justin Fields and concussion protocol, Breece Hall is a good candidate.
What do you make of the fact that the Bills' run defense just got completely run over in week 1? I know the Ravens' run defense is, unique and special, and not many backfields have Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry as running threats. But the fact that the Bills got really gashed in that week 1 game on the ground, and then the Jets, who were so good on the ground in week 1, were not able to do that against a defense that we had just seen get run all over. Do you make anything of what that happened? Or is this just kind of like the game got away from the Jets early and there was really nothing to be done about it?
Yeah, I think it was a weird anomaly there. They got off to a rough start. And again, when you look at it, was a game where we expected Breece Hall to do better on the ground here. But the positive I'm taking away is that no one else did better. It was just a game where they struggled as a whole. And weird anomalies happen. Like we took and saw Derrick Henry struggle to produce anything against the Browns defense. So it's possible that it was just a weird situation there for the Jets.
We'll go ahead and wrap things up there. Again, fantasypros.com/rankings. You can see, week 3 rankings as they come up. The rest of the season rankings are getting updated there as well. For Tera, I'm Ryan Wormeli. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you again next time.